right, hello everybody. Thank you so much for coming today to learn about Seesaw activities. I really appreciate your time spent here, and I think that you're really going to get something great out of this and feel really confident and empowered to start to incorporate some Seesaw activities into your own classroom. So to begin, I just wanted to give some context around why we chose to learn about this. If you'll recall, we sent a needs assessment survey to the staff within the last month, and you guys all filled it out and rated on a different scale of some topics that you have a need to learn more about. So I know it's kind of small and hard to read, but some of the areas of biggest need that our staff noted were around Seesaw, particularly with activities, with utilizing the digital portfolios and Seesaw assessments. There was also some need over here, if you can tell, for Math Daily 3. What's really great is that Seesaw is such a good tool for differentiation that I'll talk a little bit more later about how you can tie the use of the Seesaw app into your Math Daily 3 time as well. So that's why we're going to focus on this. And just so you know, today we'll have one session, and then we'll have a couple other sessions this year to follow up about the different aspects of the Seesaw app. So let's just begin by watching a little video about this app and all the wonderful things that it can do. I know there are some of you in the room who use the app already and some of you who haven't. So let's just watch this together to get a little idea about the app and all the great things you can do.
Millions of students, teachers, and families in over 150 countries use Seesaw to increase academic achievement and build a powerful homeschool connection centered around student learning. With intuitive and open-ended tools, students go from consuming to creating in any subject and create a portfolio that grows over time. Because students record their voice, teachers gain insights by understanding each student's thought process, not just the end result. With Seesaw, all families can see and support their child's learning, regardless of language spoken or device used at home. Our premium service, Seesaw for Schools, is the best way to harness the power of Seesaw to build a thriving and connected community at your school or district. Here's why. Save time and do more with fewer apps. Premium tools like multi-page and drafts help teachers save time and provide the best learning experience for their students. Align curriculum and track student progress. With Seesaw Skills, student work is connected to the curriculum standards you care about, and teachers get an organized view of student progress, all as part of their existing classroom routine. Year-over-year portfolios help teachers and families see how their students have grown over time. Plus, with Seesaw for Schools, families only have to sign up once. Increase collaboration and community. Enable even more co-teachers and specialists to connect with any Seesaw class in order to support student growth together. Staff can collaborate and save prep time by sharing lesson ideas in an activity library personalized to your school or district. Get visibility and additional data controls. School leaders and coaches love using their Seesaw for Schools admin dashboard to be visible, engaged, and supportive for the entire school community. Analytics reveal actionable information about family engagement and 21st century skills. And school-wide settings help Seesaw align with your school or district's privacy preferences. Make setup simple and save teachers time with bulk roster import and SIS sync options. Ensure all student data remains centrally managed and easily merge existing Seesaw accounts into your school subscription. With best-in-class privacy practices, your data is safe and secure, no matter where you are. Seesaw is loved and trusted by tens of thousands of schools and districts across the world. Inspire every student to be their best with Seesaw for Schools. Millions of students, teachers.
I did just want to note too that we have purchased this now. If you are somebody who's been using Seesaw for a while, we used to only have the free version, and so some of the stuff you've seen in this video might be new to you. We've never been able to grade on the app. We haven't, unfortunately, been able to transfer our class rosters year to year. We have that now, and so that's something that's really exciting and part of our goal as a school to get everybody using the same technology. We're going to use this for lots of different things. So we want you to feel comfortable diving into it. So a little bit about our schedule today. We're going to go over some learning objectives so you know exactly what we're working towards. We're going to do a little activity. So hopefully y'all brought your computers or your iPads so that we can dive in and do a little activity ourselves. This is a great one as for a little icebreaker, and it's also something that you can do with your students as well. So we'll talk about the uses for Seesaw, technology benefits. We'll check in throughout just to see how you guys are feeling and gauge where are areas where you might need more support. We'll see it in action. I'm actually going to walk you through my Seesaw portfolio and how I use this in my first grade classroom, and we'll hear from some other teachers as well, some intermediate teachers, to see how they use it in their room too. We'll do, mostly our focus will be on the activity library today, so hopefully you'll leave this session feeling like you can assign and create activities for your kids to start using. You'll create your own activity with some guidance from myself and some other teachers. We'll share. That's one of my favorite things about this training is once we create and find these awesome activities, we have a whole Google Classroom where we can share these ideas with each other too. And then we'll have a little closure. This time is really yours. Make it what you need to. Take care of your own needs. One thing that I want to point out is if you're following along on your computer, we have a parking lot for questions. If I ever go too fast or there's something that you're not sure about, and you just have a thought you need to get out, you can write it on our digital parking lot. We also have a parking lot here if you need to. There's pins on the table. Add your question. I'll make sure I get to that either in the training or I'll follow up with you when we're done. All right, so some learning objectives for today. There's a couple here. I would love it if somebody could help me read them. Diane, will you read the first one for us?
Participants will be able to share reasons behind why we as a school are using the Seesaw app.
Yeah, that's where we're really going to start, is digging into why we chose this app. There are lots of different options, and I know that some of you have used other things before. We want you to feel comfortable with why we picked this. We really believe that this is the best app to utilize K-5 with our teachers, and we want you to be able to figure that out too. The second one, Darlene, will you read the second one for us?
Sure. Participants will add activities related to their grade level, subject to their activity library for immediate students' use.
Yes, so like I said, we're focused on the activities today. We're gonna have some time to search the activity library. Since we have teachers of all different grades and subjects in the room, I want you to be able to walk away from this with activities you can use in your classroom. Carrie, will you read the last one for us, or the third?
Participants will work collaboratively to create an activity to use in their classrooms.
So this might sound like woo, especially if you've never done this before, but I promise you that this app is so user-friendly, and myself and the other teachers who are here to support are really gonna give you some time to dive in, and we'll be here to support you. So I'll walk you through and I'll model it for you how to create an activity, and then we'll give you some time just to play around with it so that hopefully you can leave here today with an activity that you could use with your kids tomorrow. Lastly, I want you guys to write your own objective. I really would love for this to be a learning experience where you get something out of that you can take back and use in your classroom tomorrow. What is it that you're really looking to gain from this? We've got a room full of different abilities, different subjects, different grade levels, and so I want you to think about in your classroom how you use technology, maybe if you've used this app before, and I'd love for you to write your own objective. It could be as simple as you want it to be. Maybe you've never opened the app before and today you just need time to set up the app and browse around, totally fine. Maybe you're a pro and you would love to help teach other people figure out how to use this app. So what I would love for you to do is to grab a note card in the middle of the table, and I'm just gonna give you just like 1 minute to think about something that you'd like to get out of this experience today. And we're not gonna share these, so there's zero judgment here if you've never done anything. If you're like, I don't want to use this, write it on your card. Like, I would love to know your true and honest opinions and what you'd like to get from this today. So just take a minute to do that. We're gonna start with an activity. So especially for those of you who've never done anything with this before, let's dive in and get your hands on Seesaw and see what it can do. So did everybody bring a computer or an iPad today?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
And so we had taken time, or hopefully you set up your Seesaw classroom before. I know that I've supported some teachers in getting their class rosters added. Hopefully everybody's good to go with that. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna dive in. I've got a little all about me activity. I have assigned it to your classroom already. So when you log on, you should just be able to click the light bulb. I'll show you exactly where it is if you need it. And we'll just take a few minutes to do this and to share. You guys did so awesome. Thank you for sharing with each other what you guys did on that app. Assign it to your own kids so that way you can use it as an icebreaker in your classrooms. Let's go through some reasons for why we chose Seesaw and how you can use Seesaw in your classroom. First of all, I love this quote by George Kiros. He's an author and speaker around education, innovation, and mindset. He says, technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers, it's transformational. And we really feel like this is central to our belief around technology. I don't want this to take place of you. You do so many great things in your classroom. We want this to enhance those great things. So here's some things that you can do with Seesaw. First of all, you can create digital portfolios of student work. This is probably the number one thing that I use the app for. You can take pictures, videos, you can upload different pieces of work from your students that your parents can see. You can set it up too, especially if you're one of the older grades, set it up so the kids can see each other's work, they can comment on things. It's pretty neat. And so throughout the year, you can add to this and it becomes this really amazing portfolio of work. Another thing that we'll use it for is to communicate with parents. I know that sometimes that can feel like a stressful thing and some people get really anxious answering emails and opening your email, waiting for a message. I've actually switched all of my communication with parents just to the Seesaw app, which has been great for me to be able to do my things that I need to do for school through my email and keep that separate from things that I need to do for my classroom. So it's a great way to communicate with parents and to also show them what their kids are doing in the classroom. You can assess student learning through activities and journal posts. So we'll dive into those activities. Now that we've purchased the Seesaw app, we can actually grade on the app as well. Perfect, that's the next one. We can grade the work. So you can grade it, you can leave notes. Parents see exactly what you're doing. There's no getting lost between the backpack and home. So sharing photos too, that's one really simple thing that I think a lot of people forget about in this app. Parents want to know, especially of those younger kids, like what's going on, what are they doing at school? If you do something fun, take a photo. You can share it to everybody's profile all at one time. It's a super quick way to keep parents engaged with what you're doing in class. And lastly, and one of the most powerful ways that we can use the app is to differentiate our learning. You can do video, you can do voice recording, writing, pictures, even more. For example, some of our kids who struggle to enunciate, I had one student with apraxia and he had a really hard time speaking, and so some of the speaking activities, if he had to give a speech or share something, were really hard for him. Instead, he could upload his work, he could draw a picture instead. It's a really great tool and a really simple way to differentiate for your students.